Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Who pushes the car? Is it the engine? Or is it the driver? Or is it the petrol? Or is it the driving license? Or is it the fear in our heart? Who moves the car? So the answer is, the horsepower moves the car. Only petrol cannot move the car. You have got sufficient petrol in your tank, and why the car is not moving? There is plenty of petrol. Or you have got a very nice engine in your car, but there is no petrol. Or there may be petrol, also a good engine, but they are not married yet. When the petrol and the engine marries, a 2G comes, second generation. And that second generation is called as horsepower. It is the horsepower which is moving the car. So, there is no movement in the petrol, there is no movement in the engine. The movement in the car is because of the horsepower. In the same manner, in absolute consciousness, there is no samsara. In absolute matter, there is no samsara. See, the stars, the moons, the rivers, the mountains, there is no samsara. Everything is perfect in its own place. Then for whom is the samsara? Who is driving this life? So like for the car, there is a horsepower. In us, there is a donkey power. And that donkey power makes us move. And a donkey power is called as mind. Be very attentive. It's a very simple thing, not difficult. So, if we do not invoke the horsepower, the car will remain stationary. If we do not invoke the mind, the life becomes stationary. See. Therefore, the whole life is lived only because of this donkey power called as the mind. Therefore, whether it is a path of action, karma yoga, or it is a path of yoga, the body twisting yoga, or it is a path of devotion, constantly crying, or it is a path of knowledge, unwanted arguments, all of them are meant for working on the mind. See, on the path of karma, it is said, Siddhya Siddhyo Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. When you do something, either you will succeed or not succeed. When our mind's equanimity is maintained, whatever may be the results of our action, then we are following the path of karma yoga. See, for example, we are all born bachelors. Is somebody born married? Are you sure? We are all born bachelors. So, I am man, I am woman. But then I become husband, I become wife. So for the man there is no samsara. For the woman there is no samsara. But when this man and the woman, they get into the wedlock, from there onward, the donkey power is born, called as husband and wife. See? And the whole life is lived by this husband and wife. Man and woman never live a life. It is the husband and wife who are living. And then the complaint comes. See, one couple complained about each other. I was, witnessing consciousness. Because when they see us, they remember all the complaints. So they tell. So the husband told me, Swamiji, you please tell her, at least she should respect me. I am elder than her. I said, look here, I will not take your side, I'll take Amma's side. I know you always do like that. I said, because she gives me food, you don't give me food. Then I asked, do you get married separately or you got married together? You got married together. So both of you became husband and wife at the same time. So the time of birth for the husband is the time of birth for the wife. See, and who is miserable? Husband and wife. And who are they? Like the donkey powers, nowhere. Show me the husband in a man. See? Can you show? I can see. One youngster came to ask me some question on, Singapore airport. I was comfortably enjoying the glitter. He came, oh Swamiji, how come you are here? So I kept quiet. Swamiji, I have got one question, will you please answer? I said, before that I have got a question. What is the question? Question is, are you married? He said, no, my face is like that. See? That difference is the face of a husband and the face of a man. What a difference it is. Then who is miserable? It is not the man is never miserable. Husband is never happy. Think, friends. And who is suffering or enjoying in life? Not the man or the woman, but the husband and the wife. And who are they? They are not. If these examples are clear, exactly this is the case of our mind. Mind is just an expression of consciousness through the limitation of the five koshas, the body. Like, husband is an expression of man through the limitations and burden of wife. See? One day, one husband went home, evening time, knocked the door, wife opened the door, he suddenly lifted her, and the wife said, hey, what did Swami tell you today in the satsang? Was he romantic or what? No, he told, we should carry our burden in our own hands. So I am doing that. See, friends. So, like this man expresses as husband, and thereafter, by God's grace, the wife goes away. Everything happens by God's grace. Marriage also is a God's grace, and separation is also God's grace. So when the wife goes away, then the question comes, where the husband has gone? That husband who was miserable, where has he gone? Find out. He has gone nowhere because he was nowhere. And who was miserable? This nowhere entity called as husband. Friends, think over it coolly. Then we are really entering the spiritual path. Our spirituality is only mechanical, which has no strength, no stuff in it. The more you become sensitive to this understanding, life becomes fun. These are the fundamentals of life. If your fundamentals are clear, life is a fun. If the fundamentals are not clear, life is mental. Fundamentals minus fun. So you decide whether you want to subtract fun from the fundamentals or you want to subtract the mental from the fundamental. Choice is ours. See. Therefore, this mind is the one which is addressed in every path, whether it is a path of action, siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate, equanimity of the mind has to be maintained. First, it is for this purpose, this Manache Shlok, composition of Samartha Ramdas Swami, 205 of them, they are meant to some extent. So here in this composition, some of the verses are attributed to how do we live in this world so that our mind remains in equanimous position. Then the second one is the path of yoga. Path of yoga is meant for keeping the mind in a proper balance. Normally people get lost. Yoga means twisting the body. But in fact, yoga means straightening the mind, not twisting the body. See? Therefore, the more we become aware of our mind, and for that, spiritual practices are told. Like the yama sadhana, which is told in yoga, which nobody practices. They go directly to the asana. First two are important. See, ahimsa satya asteya aparigraha brahmacharya. These are the don'ts while conducting yourself with the world. The net result is your mind remains equanimous. See, ahimsa, non-injury, satya, truthfulness, aparigraha, non-possessiveness in this world. See, brahmacharya, remaining balance and devoting the life for something higher. The more we practice this, we are working on the mind. Twisting the body is not working on mind. Then the second aspect told in Yoga Shastra is the Yama Sadhana, wherein we are told Shaucha Santosha Tapaswadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Yogaha, Niyamaha. So all these niyamas are meant for what should be done, what should be practiced as our daily life. There we are told Shaucha, external cleanliness and inner purity. Both are equally important. Many times under the disguise of simplicity, we are shabby and unclean. That is not spiritual life. Our house should be so clean and neat, anybody comes should feel good. Ah, very nice place. Like our Sumanamma's house where I stay. Anytime you go anywhere, really clean and neat. Otherwise you go to somebody's house, the first thing you feel, I should take a broom in the hand and clean it. Okay. See? Shaucha, external cleanliness and inner purity, both. Otherwise, hospitals will be called as, shaucha. No. Both the things. Shaucha, santosha, contentment. These are all directly working on the mind. Shaucha, santosha, tapas. The ability to go through the difficulties of life with a smile on the face and confidence in the heart, tapas. By this tapas, we again work on our mind by two ways. Number one, we have got wrong notions that I cannot live without these things. These are wrong notions, it is not possible. Let us give up our dependence on anything or anybody in this world. See, sarvam paravasham dukkham, sarvam atmavasham sukham, etad vidyat samasena lakshanam sukha dukkhayo. All dependence is misery, all independence is joy, freedom. See. Therefore, tapas teaches us, don't be dependent on anything in life. See? Like, I had to go to many houses for taking food. That is one of my spiritual hazards. Although I am telling that you should tell the truth, but if I tell the truth, I will never get the food. So I feel to survive is more important than to tell the truth. And they will be making all terrible kinds of food, and above that they ask, how is the food? Now how many times can you tell lies? So before eating I say the food is good. So afterwards I don't have to suffer. See friends, so I go to Punjabi houses and there they ask, Swamiji, what are your dietary restrictions? I said, I don't know what I eat, but I know what I don't eat. Then I give them a list. Onion, garlic, paneer, rajma, बैंगन का भरता, आलू, टमाटर. Oh God, then what will I prepare? They cannot think beyond these little things, So our dependence on the worldly things must be discarded. Let us adjust ourselves wherever we are, in whichever situation we are. See? Tapas. The second aspect of tapas is self-confidence. Many of us have got this wrong notion. We cannot. Why not? We can. Nothing is impossible. See? We have this wrong notion. No, I can do everything, but I cannot wake up in the morning. What should I do? Those who cannot wake up early in the morning before the sunrise, in their next life, they become bed bugs. This is said in Khatmal Mahapuran. Now you decide. Next time you see the bed bug, oh, next design, like good. We can, it is not impossible. Why not? So invocation of self-confidence is the meaning of tapas. See, many of us have got this wrong notion, we cannot. We can. So tapas, then swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is, be attentive, is a very important topic. One of my spiritual practice is, I like ironing my clothes, except when I am with Paramananda Maharaj. He does better than me. So I conveniently keep away. And when I do that, what goes in my mind? Every time I discover a new technique of meditation. Be attentive. This point you get clear, you will see control over mind is snap. So simple. When the cloth is dried up and taken out, there are so many wrinkles. Wrinkles are disorganized lines on the cloth. See. And when you take that lungi without proper ironing, it looks so ugly. So what we do? We put the iron box, remove all the wrinkles. Now when you remove the wrinkles, find out where they have gone. Like if on your dining table there is some leftover food particles, we clean them, collect it on a paper and throw it in the garbage. But if you are in India, we give it to the Dharti Mata. See? So there is something on the table is removed. In the same manner, if there are wrinkles on the cloth, when we remove them, where do they go? Collect them. Are they anywhere? They are merely appearances. Now, second point. When we fold the lungi or the shirt, then there is a proper crease. Now you can see on my shirt, there is a proper crease. This proper crease adds beauty to the cloth. And the haphazard wrinkles add ugliness to the cloth. Be attentive. And both of them, the haphazard wrinkles and this straight line, both of them are only appearances. Both of them are not right. They are not real. See, in the same manner, our mind all the time brooding over the past or worrying about the future are like those disorganized wrinkles on the cloth. And then we take the iron box of study of scriptures and thereafter develop a proper systematic line of contemplation. So worries, memories are also thoughts. Contemplation is also a thought. Now find out whether our mind is carrying the burden of the worries, memories, or the beauty of contemplation. Think. But our understanding is, because there are thoughts in the mind, we are thinkers. See, friends, like the forest and the garden, what is the difference? Both the places there are trees, plants, but in the garden and the forest, the difference is, in the forest, trees grow haphazardly. There is no discipline. There are wild animals. There is fear. In garden, every tree, every plant, every sapling is selected, culled, pruned, protected. And when we go to the jungle, the forest, we are afraid. But when we go to the garden, we are happy. In the same manner, when we are afraid of ourselves, then we start to run away from our own self, because our mind is a jungle, friends. It is not a garden. Then what do? We run away from ourselves. So we want the sound birds in our ear. Or we want something to read. Or we want to see the TV. Because our own mind is like a jungle forest. We are afraid of it. See, friends. Therefore, the real spiritual life is working on the mind. So, Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas, Svadhyaya. Then how to work on the mind? Scriptures teach us. What is the mode of action? How the mind functions? See? Our condition is like a driver who knows only how to increase the speed and how to stop the car, not beyond it. And if suppose sometime the car stops because of whatever reason, he doesn't know what is below the bonnet. See? It happened once in India. We were going in Rajasthan. And there was one big Swamiji with me, and I am a small Swami. So I was sitting in the front, and the big Swamiji, both in size and everything, he was sitting in the back seat. Driver was driving. And the car stopped. So I asked driver, do you know something? He said, I don't know anything in the car. Oh God, then I got down and looked around. Under a tree, there was some person, motor mechanic kind of thing, without any much garage thing and all that. So I asked him, I said, can you see something? He said, his mouth was full of pan and tobacco. So he didn't talk. Mauna vyakya prakatita para brahma tattva vivaram. So he came and he opened the bonnet and he can't talk because it was full of divine juice. And then he looked around, took one stone nearby and he hit somewhere. And he that means start. And the car started. And then I asked him how much I have to pay. Now he has to speak. So, see, Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. And after that he cleaned his mouth, he said 100 rupees. So I told that Swamiji, Maharaj, we have to give 100 rupees. 100 rupees, what he has done? He has only hit one stone and 100 rupees, we'll give 1 rupee. Swamis are very conjuice. When they have to receive, they are happy. When they have to give, they are miserable. So I said, see, our Bada Swami tells that only you have done only one stone, why you should take 100 rupees, take 1 rupee. He said, I will talk to your Bada Swami. He came. He said, Babaji, listen, for hitting I am taking 1 rupee, but we have to hit. For that I am taking 99 rupees. See, friends, this is the basic difference. Therefore, we must know where to hit. Who is miserable? Why somebody is miserable? Where from the miseries are coming? Are the miseries imported from the other planets? We are solely responsible for every misery in our life. Nobody is responsible. See, friends, these fundamentals are not clear because we do not know what happens below the bonnet. Therefore, Swadhyaya has these 2 aspects. Study of scriptures on a regular basis. See? And second is study of our own mind. How is our mind? See? Is it confused? It is angry? Is it frustrated? I'll tell you one thumb rule, very simple. When you are extremely happy, never promise anybody anything. Note, husband and wife. Dasharatha was very happy and he promised Kaikeyi and whole Ramayana came out. See, never do that. When you are angry, don't discuss. You will be defeated. When you are confused, don't take decisions. See? Then you are working on your mind. So, Shaucha Santosha Tapas Svadhyaya and ultimately Ishvara Pranidhanani Niyamaha. Ishvara Pranidhan, always we should have an element of the divine presence in and through all the business of our life. We must have. It's important. See, friends. Therefore, yoga is also meant to work on the mind. So what we have seen so far? The karma, the yoga. Now we come to devotion. For us, devotion means what? Crying constantly before the God or eating his head. See? Ram, 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 Ram. Don't do that. He told me he's fed up. See? Constantly that. On the contrary, remain cheerful and happy. That is real devotion. If I really love my mother or father, what will make my mother and father happy? Then I am happy and cheerful. All the things that the parents want from the children, that the children are happy themselves. In the same manner, our Father in the heavens, what He expects from us? That we are cheerful and happy, that's all. See? And when you are cheerful and happy, you are no more carrying the burden of mind. But for us, devotion means we go and sign an MOU. Oh Lord, kindly do this thing. After you do this thing, I'll spend 1 rupee 25 paisa for prasad. It's only a bargain, not devotion. See, friends, a devotee is the one who has no complaints. Devotion means living at a zero complaint level. Devotion. So that the mind remains equanimous. And the ultimate is the path of knowledge or inquiry. Gatasu na gatasuscha nanu shochanti panditaha. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, a wise man is the one who is not miserable because somebody dies, and he is also not miserable because somebody doesn't die. Ignorant people are miserable on both accounts. When somebody dies, they are miserable. When somebody dies, marta bhi nahi. They are miserable. See, friends, remain ever free from tensions and worries. Nanu shochanti pandita. Thus, we are now on one side of the river of life. There is matter. On other side of the river of life, there is consciousness. These are the two banks. And in between, the river of life flows. Two banks are joined together by the bridge of mind. See? And nobody makes house on the bridge. Bridge is meant either go to this side of the river or go to that side of the river. See, friends, but where are we living? We are living only on the bridge of mind. And when you are living only on the bridge of mind, then there will be always concussions, always disturbances. And then we get tired. And then we want to go to sleep. Going to sleep is getting into matter. Going to sleep is switching off the mind. So only one thing we sincerely try but absolutely fail, to keep the mind quiet and transcend the mind. See, then we follow our chemical meditation technology. Either we take the drinks, or we take the drugs, or we go to sleep. The idea is put the mind to quietness. See, friends, therefore, all the spiritual practice is work on the mind, not working by the mind. Now, what is the difference between working on the mind and working by the mind? Working by the mind means default settings. Like in our laptops, we have got default settings. In the same manner, we have developed the default settings in our life. The default settings are, number one, we have opinion about everything. Whether somebody asks us or not, we give our opinion. See? In most of the Indian families, they have got vigilance officers in the house. Vigilance officers means old, outdated, living persons who have nothing to do. So they are constantly watching who has come, who has gone. So that girl is standing near the window. Vigilance officer set into action. And then the daughter-in-law is called. These days our Kalpana is constantly standing near the window. What is the reason? Inquiry set in. I think we should get her married. See, for all the problem, there is only one solution. Get married. Because marriage is like, the self-anti-immunity system. See, whether that girl wants to get married or not, no, we take decisions, we have opinions. This is how we work by the mind. See, friends, this has become our habit. Like, I have got habit sometimes, I go on playing with my beard. One girl after my lecture, she was telling me, in a medical college, Swamiji, excuse me, why do you play with your beard while talking? I said, are you jealous? That you can't play? Because you don't have one? He is not playing. This is a biological towel. I wipe my hands. Like the ladies do to their hair, Anything they do, they clean it. See, friend, default habitual lifestyle is working by the mind. Instead of working by the mind, start working on the mind. And this working on the mind is the topic of this Manache Shlok, which is attributed to Samartha Ramdas Swami Maharaj. See, Maharaj. Now there are 205 verses which I am not going to tell you. Don't worry. Only we'll take the relevant whatever comes and try to conclude this topic this year. How many talks Maharaj this time? 3 talks. Okay. Because accordingly I can adjust my coat of bluffs. In Vedanta Dindima there is one shlok. Karmani chitta shuddhartham aikagrartham upasanam mokshartham brahma vijnanam iti Vedanta Dindima. Karma is not meant for getting anything out of the world. All what we have been doing is to do something so I get something. This is being a samsari. Then what for the karma is done? Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Karma is done for purification of the mind. The impurity on the mind is in the form of regrets or arrogance towards the end of our life. I wish I had not done that when I was young. I wish I should have done that when I was young. And then this guilt or regrets They are the killing factors in the old age. Because where will you run away? And in old age, we have all the time at our disposal. And that time, all those wounds of guilt, they start bleeding. And one gets disgusted, frustrated. Therefore, many old people get into depression because of this. See, friends, therefore, karma is not done for getting something out of this world. Karma is done only for one purpose. Let us perform our duties such a manner that there are no regrets left behind. See, like many people tell us. One German lady told me when I was in, Hamburg, we had a retreat there for 3-4 days. So second day she said, Mr. Swami, you should have come in my life 25 years before. I said, even then I would not have married you. No, not that way. I would not have divorced 3 times. See? These regrets are only because we are not leading a responsible life. See? And we all know our responsibilities. Fulfill your responsibilities and let there be no guilt or regret crystallize on our mind. And that guilt or regret, that troubles us only, nobody can know that. Be attentive. And when we fall in our own eyes, when we lose self-respect in our own eyes, we may show to the world, I am happy, but inside we start bleeding. Such people, in all the luxuries and comforts, they are luxuriously depressed. Frustration. They can't even laugh, as if they have consumed a handful of caterpillars. Because the burden of the regrets. So, yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Purification of the mind is, let there be no impressions form on the mind. How it is possible? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. And these techniques are given here and there. You go through and listen or read. One simple technique I'll tell you. The technique is, don't do anything in your life to get happiness. Then, do whatever you have to do to express happiness. How simple it is? So what we do? We function through 3 channels. Body, if you are a Gujarati, body, see? Or subtle body, if you are a Bihari, see? And the casual body, if you are a South Indian. 3. So we express through our body as action, speech through the mouth, and thoughts through the intellect. See. Now let these 3 channels express only happiness. So whatever we are doing, don't do it to get happiness. Do it to express happiness. There will be no impression formed on your mind. But if we do the other way, if I do this thing, then people will appreciate me and then I will become happy. And people will not appreciate because you are good for nothing. The net result is frustration. Think, friends. On the contrary, you do your job cheerfully and happily. If others suffer, it's their problem, not yours. See, how simple it is. You do your job happily. Similarly, you talk happily. Not talking goody goody outside and inside frustrated, like the air hostesses. See? The best example is this Air India air hostesses. You know the slogan they have, feel at home aboard. The reason is that only. Like you feel at home, you have come. What do you feel at home? There is auntie, maushi, kaku, aji. All oldies are there, and you ask them something that I got this habit of addressing every lady as Amma. And one lady I said, Amma, can you get me a glass of water? What? I said, water. Because they are Ammas, they don't look like girls. Therefore you feel at home. Feel at home aboard. So they talk, surface level, please come, welcome, aa gaya, baitho. No, let every word express happiness and joy. Whenever you talk happily, you are at ease. And the person who is listening, he is also at ease. See, and a happy person can never talk bad words. How simple it is. Can somebody say, hey darling, I am very happy, I just want to kill you. It's not possible. Happiness is not a destructive force. It is a creative. See, this is how yoginaha karma kuruvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. The karma is done for working on the mind in such a manner that let us make karma as an expression of joy of life rather than karma as a burden to get happiness from life. See? Then the second aspect of our personality is mind. Now this mind has got another problem, and the problem is our mind is not available to us whenever we want. See, for example, I have been talking to you for last 47 minutes. Even this is not heard because the mind has already gone somewhere. See, how much our mind really cooperates with us. So, upasana is done for disciplining the mind. And the discipline is, the mind is available to us when we want. It is not, I don't have a mood to study today. Those who are under the influence of the mood, they are moodha. Spelling is the same. Yam, wo, di. This is a Malayali spelling. You know how the Malayali spell banana? Children ask me this question. B-A, N-A, yet another N-A. Banana, yeah, Malayali spelling. See? So when we are wanting to focus our mind, the mind is not available. So these two things, karma and upasana, is meant for working on the mind. See. Now how do we know our mind is pure? How do we know that we were leading a really religious, good life? How do we know? All of us have that notion that I've been very religious, I get up early in the morning, 5 o'clock, and then go to sleep. See, I don't eat non-vegetarian at home. I eat in the hotels. So also drinking. I never drink at home. Smoking I do only in the bathrooms. We have got this funny notion about ourselves. I am a goody. Friends, we deceive ourselves the most in life. We don't deceive others. We deceive ourselves. And then we feel that we are leading a very nice spiritual religious life. And to whom will you ask? Look within. If we are really leading a religious life, then dispassion must be born in our heart. Dharmate birati jogate jnana jnana mocha pradaveda vakana. Tulsidaji says, if we are leading a religious life, dispassion is bound to be. But if you see our all families, how much we are attached to the grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Don't get involved too much. Enough of this world now, enough. See? Therefore, when the mind becomes pure, pure mind is that mind where inquiry about four things is initiated. First inquiry, Kastvam, who are you? See? Then what is this world? Then who is God? And what is spiritual practice? About these four things, we are leading only a notional life. See? Therefore, pure mind is that mind where inquiry about the truth kindles. Like a perfect mirror is the mirror wherein our face is 100% perfectly reflected. This is a perfect mirror. In the same manner, the pure mind is the one where divinity is perfectly reflected. See, friends, and for that, we have to work on the mind. And when we thus work on this mind, there are so many things in this is given. One or two, just randomly I am reading. In the initial verses, he talks about how the mind of an average person. Mani manava vyartha chinta vahate akasmat honar ho nijate ghade bhogane sarvahi karma yoge mati mandate khedamani viyoge. In the 17th verse he says, Manava mani vyartha chinta vahate. We are unnecessarily worrying. Worries are sterile, they don't deliver babies. See, friends, worries don't deliver any result. Worries are not the solution. Vyartha chinta vahate. And what is chinta or the worries? Worries are an attempt to solve the non-existing problems. See? This time when I was coming through immigration, such a huge queue, almost 2 hours we were standing there. About 22 flights have come simultaneously. You can imagine, multiplied by at least 300 passengers. Right from the gate of the aeroplane, we were standing in the queue, no place to go anywhere. So everybody tired, and those immigration officers, they also must be tired, so many people, And then everybody is, I don't know. And in between, somebody was some problematic passenger, and then they have to call the, security people. He was taken away. Immediately there is a tension. Everybody is preparing. I hope I don't go to the same man. Otherwise, he will ask again question, and he may not know. Every worried. And it so happened, I had to go only to him. So when I went, vyartha chinta vahate, mind is worrying, I don't know what questions he will ask now. I gave him, he did not even look at me, he did not even ask for the visa, he just put the stamp, go. What I have achieved by worrying, now what will happen by worrying? Worry is an attempt to solve the non-existing problems. We only project the problem. If this happens, like many people have this funny notion, I don't know what is going to happen to this world. If you don't know, enjoy. If you know, be prepared. Where is a place for worries? See? So, mani manava vyartha chinta vahate akasmata hodar ho hi nahi jaye. Whatever is due to happen is due to happen. You can't change anything. See, friends. And the most beautiful part is, let the things happen suddenly. You don't get chance after to cry. See? While giving lecture. Thereafter, suppose I die right over here, I'll be relaxed. You will be tense. Ab kya karu? See, friend, this is the best thing in life. Things must happen suddenly, rather than having a chronic illness. See, friends, if you want to curse somebody, curse. May you live long and suffer silently. There was one person from Sydney. He died and went up there in the heavens. And he was a very pakka yoga student, a victim of Ramdev Baba. And he was doing yoga, asana, pranayama and everything. And he lived for 130 years. After 130 years, he died, and he may be in the book of guinea pigs. They may call it Guinness Book of Record, it's Guinea Pigs Book of Record. All the guinea pigs are recorded there. So, he died at the age of 130 and went up there. And when he went there, so beautiful angels, damsels, beautiful one them, he was cursing Ramdev Baba, why didn't I come here early? Friends, why unnecessarily live long, friends? Therefore, akasmata honara ho hi nahi. Jo hona hai is bound to happen. Accept it. There are two ways. Accept happily or accept miserably. Choice is not whether to accept or not. Choice is whether to accept happily or miserably. That is the choice. See, work on this choice. This is working on your mind. One or two examples I'll give you. Do we have a choice to live yesterday? No. Do we have a choice to live tomorrow? No. Do we have a choice not to live today? No. So what is the simplest way of living? Live today. When you start living today, you start living at zero choice level. More the choice you give to yourself, more miserable you are. Lesser the choice you give to yourself, less miserable you are. Don't give yourself any choice, you are happiest. How simple it is. But we don't understand the basic principles. Therefore, all that happens is perfectly all right. Akasmata hodara ho hi jate. Don't give any choice. Then, Gade bhogade sarvahi karma yoge. Now here one question was asked to me before I came here. If joy and miseries are also coming because of our prarabdha karma, then what is the sadhana? This is the question. What sadhana can we do? Very simple, it's not difficult. Joy and sorrows we can attribute to our past karma. Punyasya phalam sukham. If we have lived a meritorious life in the past, we will get happiness. If we have lived a terrible life in the past, we will get miseries. Agreed. The joy and sorrows are the result of our karma. Agreed. But to be joyful or to be miserable is the choice given to us. See, when we enter any country, immigration form they give us. Are you a member of an active terrorist organization? Options are given, yes and no. Are some criminal proceedings pending against you? Yes or no. Are you having any communicable diseases with you? Yes or no. Were you on the animal farm? Yes or no. Were you last 6 days in Africa? Yes or no. Options are given. Choice is yours. Exercise a proper choice. In the same manner, when we were entering this world, we were given one form with one question. Anityam asukam lokam imam prapya. Now you are entering the most miserable and disgusting area called as the world. Question is given. Do you want to be miserable? Options are given, yes and no. You choose. Miseries may come to you, but you have a freedom to be not miserable. See? So if we can't choose properly, then who can help us? Exercise of this freedom is called a spiritual life. When you refuse to be miserable, you will never become miserable. See? But then what will happen to misery is pass on to others. You don't become miserable. Refuse. So, ghade bhogade sarvahi karma bhoge. Here what we have to understand, we don't suffer because of our karma. Be very attentive. Most of the students have got this wrong understanding. We never suffer because of our karma. We suffer because of our identification with the experiences. When the miseries come, if you refuse to be miserable, God cannot make you miserable. Choice is given, friends. Exercise. But they know with such a great, poor misery has come to me. What can I say? No, come and become miserable. When this misery will go, and she will find her friend, hey, where to go? I am searching for a good place. Go to Swamiji, he is a very good host. When you become miserable, more misery will be attracted towards you. See? Therefore, gade bhogane sarvahi karma yoge, mati mandate khedamani viyoge. And those who are mati manda, dull-witted fools, they only are miserable when the people leave us, somebody dies and we are miserable. I'll tell you one of my experience. This happened in Delhi, maybe 30, 40 years before. From this experience I learned, therefore I am telling you. There used to be one old couple from Himachal Pradesh, and they used to really love me. Very old couple. So I used to call them Papa, Mama. And one day I got the news, I was in Delhi only, but little away, and my lectures were going on, that Amma died. When I got the message, I said, hey, I can't come, I am tied down here, I'll come the moment I am free from here. So after 12, 13 days, I went there. And then sat with the old man, Papa. We had, discussions on government, how government is useless, how people are bad, how the weather is changing. Even the weather is becoming erratic, Kali Yuga has come. See, in Kali Yuga, even the cartoons have become serious. See, the height of Kali Yuga. Cartoons have become serious. See? So all these topics we are talking, and then after spending about half an hour, I got up, I said, okay, Papa, I take your leave, take care. He hugged me, he said, you are a real Swami. I said, what mistake I did? Please tell me. He said, no, everybody came to meet me And they were talking about the death of my wife, and they were talking so much that unless I cry, they will not feel fulfilled. And when I start crying, then they will say, no, it's okay now, jo hona ho gaya. Then why did you tell me all these things again and again? And then they will go, they will feel, now we have completed our duty, made him miserable and go. But you did not make me miserable, even not mentioned once about my wife's death. Therefore you are a Swami. I said, Papa, I tell you very frankly, what is that? How do I know whether you are miserable because of her death or not? Is it necessary that the husband should feel miserable because of wife's death? No, not necessary. It is not obligatory. Life is very beautiful if you decide to be happy in life. But Mati Manda, you know why people express their miseries before others? Only to attract attention. There is no other reason. Suppose I walk straight away from here, nobody will bother about me. But while walking, suddenly, oh God, oh Swamiji, what happened? What happened? If you give attention now, I will not do this drama. All those people who show their miseries, they are only seeking attention. You go to anybody's house with the dogs, you don't give importance to the dog will climb on you. Unless you hug him, kiss him, give him for whitewash, pat. He doesn't have to take, the pills for the calcium. It comes over here. Then he is happy. Whenever we seek attention, our ego is very strong. See? Therefore, work on the mind in such a manner that we are no more weaklings. Mana ragave vina asha nakore, mana manavachi nako kirti ture, jaya varniti veda shastre purane, taya varnita sarvahi shlagyavane, mana sarvatha satya sodu nakore, mana sarvata mithya mandu nakore, mana satyate satyavache vadave, mana mithyate mithya sodu nadave. This is an address to the mind. Work on your mind. And when we start working on the mind, following things should happen. Never get involved in any discussions which are controversial issues. Take care of your mind. Don't worry about this world. This world has always been like this. There is nothing new in this world. See? We try to save this world. All the saviors have come. They were shaved off. The world is as it is. See, friends, take care of your mind. All the spiritual practice is working on the mind, not working by the mind. In this manner, when the mind becomes purer and purer, then there is an inquiry kindled in our mind. And that inquiry is Vase hrudayi devato kona kaisa puse adare sadhaku prashna aisa dehe takita deva kothe rahato parima guta thava kothe pahato. Now this is one question which comes common. What happens after death? So one person asked me this question. In a school I was addressing, and I told, I am addressing the students, so no other question will be entertained. And yet, one oldie got up. Swamiji, I got a question. I say, keep with you. I don't need your question. I am addressing the students, only students' question will be entertained. He got very angry. Went away. So who cares? Go. Afterwards, in the principal's room, I said, please call the teacher. I will say I am sorry. So when he came, still angry, I said, sir, I am sorry I did not answer your question because it was a wrong question in a wrong place. How do you know what was my question? I said, sir, your question was, what happens after death? How do you know? I said, from your face. You are not living, you are dying. See? If you have to ask question, ask how to live happily, not how to die. Or what will happen to after death. I said, okay, now I'll reply your question. What will happen after death? Who are you, Hindu, Muslim? Of course I am a Hindu. I said, we'll burn you. No, not that way. I said, okay, second option. When you die, there will be a holiday for the school. But don't die on Sunday. One day will be wasted. No, not that. What will happen after death to the soul? See? This dumb question is in every dumb mind. Nobody has seen any soul. But we have got this funny notion. Like there is a soul per shoe, there is a soul per body. And then when the body dies, the soul goes out. And in search of a place, jaun to jaun kahan. And while going, the soul carries the blueprint with him. And the blueprint is the last thought of the life, last thought. Suppose somebody is extremely fond of dog. Many people are fond of dogs, not gods. Spelling is different. So, all the time, doggy, 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 doggy. And the last, I don't know what will happen to my doggy after I die, but my doggy... Oh. So the last thought was a blueprint. So, jao to jao kaha, wow, next life begins. See friends, this is not death. The secret of death is told that there is nothing like death in this world. So this question is answered, what happens to the soul after death? In the next few verses that we'll try to understand in next 2 days. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.